Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And this is the college football closing line show for week 16. That's right. We made it to Championship Saturday. Last night was a complete debacle. It was a disaster. I don't even know what the best way to go about it is. Our boy Casey, already in the chat this morning, he had Ball State plus 13. He had Oregon on the money line. He got caught by the Rutgers half point there. He had Rutgers plus 6.5, but he had a pretty good evening. So crazy stuff. Three underdogs winning outright in conference championship games last night. If that is any indication, it is going to be an absolutely insane Saturday, and I cannot wait. Chris, how did you feel about last night?
Well, so I got caught. You know how much I hate chalk. I hate it. And the one week I pick a lot of chalk, all my dogs are coming in. And this is my fault. I bet against Bill Clark. I've never done that before. Shame on me. And yeah, all I can ask for is let's just let the dogs keep rolling. I need Notre Dame, I need Northwestern, and I need Florida in the worst possible ways, just so I can sleep at night, not for financial reasons, just to let me know that there is a football god out there and he loves me and he's watching over me.
Well, we need Northwestern. We need all kinds of stuff. Heath jumps in already. Can't believe UAB won. UAB did not just win. UAB
dominated the football game.
Dominated it. They ran it down Marshall's throat. We didn't even think that was possible this year.
I thought if UAB covers this line, not wins the game, covers this line, makes it like a field goal game, it'll be very balanced. It'll be through the air. It'll be, some schematic thing. No, they just lined up in the trenches and just bullied Marshall around. I didn't think that was possible.
I did not either. Let's go ahead and jump into the recap of last night. Well, I guess first, the biggest news of the morning, Brett Bielema, the new head coach at Illinois. Now, we thought that Lance Leipold from Buffalo had an option, a shot at that job. But they go out, they grab Brett. We're glad to see him back in the Big Ten. He plays man ball. I think that's the best way to
it's going to take him a little bit unless he can get a bunch of grad transfers, which is what Lubby was doing, by the way. Yeah. So, just working that transfer portal, which I don't disagree with. In the next 2 to 3 years, the transfer portal is going to be wide open.
Oh, it most certainly is. It's going to be nuts. I love Brett Bielema. I love what he did at Arkansas. He is incredible. He's instantly the most entertaining coach in the Big Ten. And I don't think it's close.
That's my guy. That is my guy.
Heath jumps in. Buffalo played well. I don't know about that. They did not look good. They couldn't convert third downs. They couldn't get off the field on third down when Ball State had it. So it was rough.
Defensively, that defense got picked apart.
Yeah, and they couldn't score. They have not scored less than 40 all year. Well, less than 42 all season long. And granted, it's not been a long season, but look, Buffalo couldn't run the football. And when you can't run the football, and that's what you are designed to do, that's a problem. So Ball State kept 8 guys in the box pretty much all night and forced them to throw the ball. And they threw for 350 some odd yards. But either way,
I don't think this was on the offense. I mean, you talked to them beforehand. I think this is 100% on Buffalo's defense.
Oh, it absolutely is.
They couldn't get off the field all night long.
But they have been winning with offense all season. And that's the biggest thing, right? They have been able to score on everybody. And when you can't score and you are required to make stops.
Yeah, but nobody's really scored on them.
Just
because they put up a lot of points, a lot of that's just no mercy on folks. Has anybody scored 38 against them all season?
Kent State, but Buffalo.
We thought Kent State was the second best team, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I just happen to be on the same side of the bracket as Buffalo.
Yes, you are correct. The UAB Marshall game, UAB wins 22-13. Busted my team total under 17. Did not expect for UAB to be able to run the football the way that they did. Their best wide receiver opted out for the rest of the season before the game, or 2 weeks before the game, because he didn't even play in the Rice game.
Yeah, he opted out last week.
And I don't know what happened. They found another guy that came in and caught like 150 passing yards and a couple of touchdowns or whatever. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Hey, so Blue Hawk jumps in. He said, "Come on, people, hit that thumbs up button." Yeah, go ahead and like the video for us. I haven't given you the full rundown yet, and let me go on and do that. SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. We got articles on all the biggest games, all the most interesting games, etc. Deep dives that go into the stats and whatnot, the direction that our writers would be going in these games. I went 0-3 last night, is what it is. But go and check that out. And the Pick Six contest still rolling. SBRpicks.com/pick6. That's PICK and the number 6. You can find these links down in the description. Go ahead and click those. Check them out. Like the video for us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and share it out. Tell your friends. Jump into the comments. We would love to hear from you guys what you think is going to happen on Championship Saturday. We got the playoffs coming tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow is Selection Sunday, and we will finally get our bowl matchups and all that. We've got a few bowl matchups already, but not all of them. Right? There's a lot of teams opting out of playing in bowl games. It's going to be a crazy year. It's going to be a crazy year. So back to this. UAB 22, Marshall 13. UAB was able to run the football almost at will on them. It was really interesting. Grant Wells ended up with a decent stat line. I mean, he threw for like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, but started out the game 0-8 or 0-4-8. They could not get anything going on offense. They could not make stops on defense. This was exactly the kind of game that we thought it would be, just flipped, right? 2 defensive coaches, Bill Clark, Doc Holliday. It's the game that we thought we would get. It just didn't go the way that we thought it was going to go.
If you gave me a team A, team B, and gave me all the stats from the box score, I 100% would have thought this game went exactly the way I thought it was going to go, and Marshall won. Marshall covered, and no, when I see which team has which stats, it just boggles my mind.
Yes, you're right. Nebraska 28, Rutgers 21. Just
I got to push, but I had the right way. Rutgers led a lot of that game.
Yeah, and then Nebraska comes back, scores late, wins by touchdown. It was just ridiculous. Teaser King jumps in, best college football show on the internet. That's what I'm talking about. And then Gary T said, "Welcome to the 2020 football season." Yeah, that's what this has been. There was an interesting article Richard Johnson wrote for 538.com that was basically explaining just how unpredictable this season has been and how crazy. Like, if you're losing money on college football this year, you ain't the only one. The majority of people are losing money on college football gambling this season, and it's crazy. I mean, the stuff makes sense. Some of it makes sense, but it's just insane. Casey said Nebraska covering 7 is ridiculous. Like, it is. It
really is. I watched a lot of that football game, and I just kind of thought I was in good shape there. I just didn't think Nebraska was going to be able to keep up with what Rutgers was throwing at them, which is the kitchen sink, which is what they throw at everybody. And I thought Nebraska's defense did a good job of kind of stymieing and slowing down. I mean, Rutgers defense did a good job slowing down Nebraska, and they did it early. They did early.
Do you know what Rutgers' team total was?
No.
21.5.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
I mean,
I didn't play it, so that'd have been another thing I'd have lost had I seen it, because I don't really respect Nebraska. I'm really bad at talking right now.
Understandable.
It's tough. That's what I do for a living. See, it's not good. But yeah, I'd have lost on that had I seen the total.
There you go. Last game for the recap: Oregon beats USC in the Pac-12 title game. That is 2 straight Pac-12 titles for Mario Cristobal in that bunch, and he just signed a new fat contract extension. Props to Jimmy Sexton, of course, for getting that done.
Jimmy Sexton is the biggest criminal in all of sports, isn't he?
No.
He steals money from people.
He's not a criminal. This is all legal. It's
no. There's a lot of things that are illegal, that are legal, but that are immoral.
That's it. We got a lot of guys showing a lot of love to the show. Kevin Rourke, this show is very good. I'm glad I found it. Mark Rock said he likes this show even over College Game Day.
Ooh,
that's what I'm talking about.
That. Hey, I like what we do, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that.
Absolutely. We do appreciate you guys. This is the last live Saturday show. We are going live on Monday at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for like our bowl welcoming video, right? We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about all the big bowl games, the playoffs, all that good stuff. And the majority of the show is going to be Q&A. So you guys hop on in with us on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern time and ask your questions. We're just going to have a free-for-all. We're just going to have some fun. We wanted to do at least one last live show where Chris and I are together. We're going to do a bowl video for every single bowl game, but this will be separate from that. We're just going to talk about the entire landscape of the sport. It's going to be a good time. So join us on Monday. Oregon did not even have 250 yards of total offense, and yet they were able to get stops. They were able to get turnovers. Keaton Slovis with some passes that Oregon had to make plays on to get interceptions. And
some of them were his fault, but some of them were not. And some of them, guys took balls away.
Yes,
Oregon's defense showed it. This is the best I've seen that team play all year. This is the most complete team that I saw all season in the Pac-12 in one game.
And yet they had still lost 2 straight coming into this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just insane. Like none of it makes sense. All right. Before we jump into our recap of official picks, I want to bring up a scenario, and I want to see how crazy you think Twitter would be going if this were to happen. Ohio State in a dogfight with Northwestern.
But wins?
Well, we just this scenario in that noon window, if this is going on, I want you to think about how crazy social media would be. Ohio State in a dogfight, they could possibly lose, right?
Okay.
A&M pounding Tennessee. Iowa State beating Oklahoma. How nuts is social media going to be at that point? Like, because I don't even know that Ohio State, even with the win, if it's like a 21-20 kind of game, I wonder what that's going to look like to the committee, because they've got
it's done. What do you mean? What is it going to look like? As long as they get a W next to their name for any reason whatsoever, they're moonwalking their way in.
That's a good point. We had a lot of people asking, or no, maybe not a lot. Let's see. Oh, Francisco said, "Do you have a chance at breaking 500?" No, not after last night. Not after last night. So who was it? Somebody asked, how many Ohio State players are not playing? That was Blue Hawk. So 14 scholarship players are out today. 3 starters: Chris Olave, the wide receiver; linebacker Baron Browning; punter Drew Chrisman; defensive ends, these are rotation guys, Tyler Friday and Jean Baptiste, or J. Jean Baptiste. Marcus Hooker is a game time decision, but they got Munford, Myers, let's see, Borland, Proctor, a couple of the guys. They are going to be back. These are guys that missed the Michigan State game. They are going to be back for this game. So this is going to be interesting. But I think Twitter is going to absolutely melt down. At least college football Twitter will.
30 to 40% of the people in that room making these decisions don't even have a Twitter.
You're probably right. No, I'm just talking about the college football landscape. The college football guy.
The landscape can do whatever it wants. It doesn't matter. The people who make these decisions have already made them.
If Ohio State loses, it is going to be absolutely insane.
If Ohio State loses, hear me now. I'm going to give you a different scenario. Ohio State loses. Iowa State loses. A&M loses. Florida wins. Ohio State gets in over Florida.
Golly, that would be insane.
My word, that will happen.
Hey, let's roll through our recap of our official picks right quick before we jump into the actual games. I'll go on and give mine out. So I missed on Marshall last night. I missed on UAB's team total under 17.5. I missed on Buffalo's team total over 40. So 0-3 to start the week. That puts me, by the way, in my weeknight picks on the season. 4-16. That's insane.
I was doing good on weeknights.
I was not. So I have Oklahoma, Iowa State over 57.5. That is now up to like 59 at most places. I have Iowa State plus 5.5 against Oklahoma. I've got Northwestern plus 21. That's down to like 18, 17.5 at some spots. That is down to 16.5 and 17 at some spots. Good gracious.
What game?
The Ohio State Northwestern game. I just looked at it.
It was 18 right when we started.
Yeah, it's down to 16.5 at Bookmakers, 17 at Bovada, Heritage.
In 15 minutes?
Yeah. Well, that news broke just a few minutes before about the guys that were going to be out. So I've got San Jose State plus 6.5 against Boise. I had the under 55.5 for the Sun Belt Championship game, but that one has been canceled. And then I've got Florida's team total under 28.5. Chris, you got your picks in front of you.
Yeah, I pushed Rutgers last night, minus +7. I lost Buffalo. I lost Marshall. Those suck. And then I've got A&M minus 13.5 still working. I got Northwestern +21, which I love. Right now it's only 17. You talked about that. I got Notre Dame +10.5. I got Arizona -7. I got Cincinnati -14, which now you can get a 13.5.
Yep, you absolutely can. Francisco jumps in. He said Gary's going to be late making the mortgage payment. Let me go ahead and tell you guys. We always try and explain this, especially early in the season. You start out with the bankroll, okay? And the bankroll is what you've got for gambling only. And everything that happens from there is fine. Like I bet the same amount on every single game. I have no favorites, one or the other. It's not 2 units on this one and half on this one or whatever. Early in the week, I bet like half units. I bet small. And then later on in the week, I will bet a full if I want to, but it's all good. So I'm not losing any money. This was my fund for gambling. So that's the way that this thing goes. Alan jumps in. What's up? You guys are the best. Gary T said responsible gaming. Yeah. I mean, hey, Dino said, just fade Gary, everyone. He's on a roll. You can bounce back today. Yes, that's the deal, right? Just fade all of my picks and you will make money. I swear to you. It's bananas. So there is value even when we're losing. That's the way it goes. All right. Let's jump into the actual ball games. Where are we at? 16 minutes 34. All right. Keep my times down so we can put them up for everybody to go visit later. Starting off with the Big Ten Championship game. This is the noon slate today. Northwestern and Ohio State, rotation 229-230. Ohio State opened a 19.5-point favorite. The total was 58.5. It jumped up to 21 very quickly, and it has come all the way back down. I am seeing Bet Online now has it at 16.5. I see 17 multiple spots.
17.
And the total is down to 56. Yep. So it's 12 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. This is nuts. We just talked about all the guys that are going to be out. 14 scholarship players out for Ohio State today, including wide receiver Chris Olave. And I think that's the biggest loss of the day. Now, some might say like losing Baron Browning could be a big deal. I don't know if he is like a key piece of that defense or not. That's what Chris and I have talked about off the air multiple times is what are the Jenga pieces? Like Marshall didn't look like they were missing anybody major, but if it is the like one integral glue guy, then the whole thing can blow up.
Yeah, so the way I see this thing is that everything, all these teams are a Jenga tower. All right, you could be missing 5 or 6 pieces, and the tower still stand, or you can pull that one special piece and the whole thing fall. And so that's what's made this season really difficult is we don't really know who the key Jenga pieces are to these things. Let me tell you what scares me about the Northwestern game, which I think they can keep it close. Okay. I do think they can keep it close, but stopping Ohio State's offense, what the problems they're going to have is what they ran into against Michigan State was they covered Michigan State's DB wide receivers like a glove. Okay. They shut down Michigan State's run game, but what they couldn't do was when they went back into coverage and the quarterback for Michigan State, Rocky Lombardi, had all day to throw, but couldn't find anybody open. He just had massive run lanes because the receivers just backed so far up. And he was able to run for many first downs. And I'm talking like 3rd and 19s, 3rd and 23s, over and over again. Fields is a hell of a lot better athlete than Rocky Lombardi.
It's true.
And that is going to be what Ohio State's going to have to do. If Pat Fitzgerald can't fix that on defense, then Northwestern's going to have a hard time stopping Ohio State from first downs, from getting off the field, from making them punt. So, I do think they'll be able to cover these guys. It's just a matter of can they shut down Fields when everybody is covered? Can they stop him?
Can you make solo tackles? That's going to be the biggest thing for Northwestern because I would imagine like
I think they can, by the way. This is probably one of the best tackling football teams in the country.
Oh, fundamentally, they are just
they're just sound. They don't make a lot of mistakes that way.
Yeah, they're ridiculously disciplined. So Alan said Christopher likes the points for Northwestern, I can tell. Yes, 100%. But here's the deal. So against Michigan State, Northwestern did not have to run a spy on Rocky Lombardi, or at least they didn't feel like they needed to, which is why they never did it, because Lombardi had never run like that. There was no reason to believe that he would. And in this game, that Fields will look to run if there is a lane open. You're going to have a spy on him. He's going to have to be able to place.
And spies get caught. So the problem, I don't like spies. And here's the reason why, is because all you have to do is you've got a clean pocket, right? And you look like you're going to run this way. That spy has to come this way. And then you immediately run the opposite way. That spy has to get through a lot of guys. Even if it's not his guys that are, blocking, the offensive guys blocking, it's getting through defensive guys as well to get to the quarterback. This is why I don't like spies, is it's really hard to spy a guy. It's really easy to take the spy out of the play.
Agreed. But it's so that's the difference between offense and defense. Defense is reactionary and offense is, proactive.
Right. Just protect the edge. That's all I want. I would tell your edge guys is do not get sucked in. Do not get sucked in. Just don't do it. You have to be disciplined. You have to protect the outside edge. I don't care if you don't get the sack. If he doesn't get outside of you, we're good.
Yeah, play your gap defense.
Yes.
Easy enough. Easy. Well, we say that. We say easy enough. I mean, who knows? That's down, by the way, to 16.5 pretty much across the board now.
It's dropping like a rock, man.
That's crazy. That is insane. All right. The other big game in the noon slot, 231, 232, Oklahoma and Iowa State. And, this one, I mean, opened at 4 in favor of Oklahoma. 16.5 was the total. This one's on ABC. It is now sitting Oklahoma minus 5.5, depending on the book. Now, obviously, you can go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF and click on odds up at the top. You can search out and find the best spot for you. But this is I don't know what to make of this game. I think Iowa State has improved drastically since the beginning of the season. I also think that Oklahoma has. Ronnie Perkins is back. They got the running back. Like they got some dudes back. They've been playing a lot better, but they've also been playing trash. And so Casey jumps in. He said Oklahoma minus 6. I lean Iowa State here. They have covered every game since Matt Campbell got to Ames against Oklahoma. And I don't know that changed. Now, they haven't been this short of an underdog in...
Yeah, it's usually double digits.
Yeah. Now, they were a 7-point underdog earlier this season, and they won the game outright. So, that's not bad. I tend to think that they've got a real shot to be able to win this ball game. Oklahoma has not seen anything like this team since they started playing well. I lean Iowa State. My biggest play... I have the over 57.5. That's up to 58.5, 59. You can find it at several different spots. I like the over here because the over has hit in 4 straight games. It's never been anything less than 65 points.
Yeah, so, I was about to say, man, I thought 59 was just real short.
Yeah, that's 100% what I thought. Like, I think this is going to be in the 60s. Iowa State's team total is 27. I'm going over that. I think they score in the 30s.
Yeah, I have no opinion on this game one way or other on the side. I would take the over if I had to play it because I just think, let's say we're all wrong about Iowa State. If Oklahoma rolls, it's going to be because Oklahoma threw the football and put up a ton of points.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. Jack said, but Iowa State will slow the pace down. No, it hasn't mattered.
I think they'll try, but, Iowa State's been scoring.
Teddy said Oklahoma first half team total over 14.5, Gary. See, I ain't messing with that. I'm just rolling whole ball game. Like, this is a crazy game. This is going to be nuts. So we'll see how they come out. I might do some live betting. We'll go from there. Moving on to A&M and Tennessee. And this one is another interesting one. Opened at 12.5 in favor of Texas A&M. It's rotation 243, 244. A&M minus 12.5 with a total of 51.5. That total is down to 51 pretty much everywhere, it looks like. We got a couple 51.5 still out there. And the line is 13.5 and 14 at some spots. So only a couple of 14s out there. But if you like A&M, you can get 13.5 pretty much anywhere. This is, I tend to imagine that A&M is going to come out with their hair on fire. knowing that they have to put up a really impressive showing. This is a Mike Elko defense going up against a true freshman quarterback that has only played in one start, and that was against Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So I don't normally like calling true freshman quarterbacks at the end of the season because they're no longer true freshmen. All right. Everybody's got plenty of playing time to really have experience, quote unquote.
Get acclimated to the system. Yeah.
This is this kid's second start. So he is a true freshman going up against a real good defensive coordinator.
And
I mean, one of the best out there, one of the best in the SEC without doubt.
The other side of this was that he did not get spring practice. He did not get fall practice because he was out for the fall camp dealing with COVID. So
this is going to be a kid that's going to see things that he's never seen before. 51 is a super short total for football games these days. I would lean under if I had to, because I do think Tennessee might fight like hell to keep this thing, low scoring. Pruitt is a pretty good defensive mind. My only fear is there's a world in which A&M gets loose and A&M beats the hell out of them. They need this game, and they need to beat the hell out of somebody.
I'm with you. Hey, Teddy jumps in and said, Gary, first half team totals have so much value. So long as you're picking the right ones.
I was just about to say, one team does, the other team doesn't.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right about that. Let's move into the afternoon slate. The first one we will start off with Air Force and Army. Of course, this is for the Commander-in-Chief trophy, and this is a weird game. There's a lot of hate here. There was a lot of smack talk from Jeff Monken, so which I'm a fan of.
I'm not opposed to that at all.
No, this is 205, 206 rotation numbers. Air Force opened a 1-point favorite. They are sitting currently at a 2.5 point favorite. It was up to 3 for pretty much the entire week. And then this morning it has come back down a little bit. Total is 37.5. It seems short, but hey, you know how these Service Academy games are, that the totals always to the under. And so I would lean Army here because Army's at home. They seemed more willing to play this game than Air Force was. But I also know how Troy Calhoun is. You got any feel on this, Chris?
I really don't. I want Army to win. I think they have been the better team all year. They've had the better season all year. And I would like for those things to be rewarded. But at the end of the day, you got to go on the field and you got to beat somebody to get your reward. And if Air Force wins and Air Force beats them, then they'll take the trophy.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I think if they both play their best game, Air Force wins. But I don't even know what that looks like right now, because kind of both these teams have been pretty inconsistent as of late. Army started the season off with their asshole on fire, just killing people. So they ran into Cincinnati. That it looked like they were going to win and cover every game.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about them, could they make it into the playoffs after 3 weeks?
Yeah. No, we were definitely talking New Year's 6, but
yeah.
I mean, who knows? Let's move on to the SEC. This is a 2:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 Eastern SEC Network game. This is Ole Miss and LSU, 247, 248 rotation numbers. LSU opened a 2-point favorite, total of 73.5. It's down to Ole Miss -1. It is flipped all the way over, went all the way through 0. Ole Miss is now the favorite. 74.5 is the total, so that's gone up by 1 point. Ole Miss not going to have Elijah Moore. They're not going to have Kenny Yeboah. LSU will have the same team that they had that went up and beat Florida last week. I have no idea what to
which is nothing but a bunch of freshmen.
Yeah,
guys that can't buy cigarettes right now. that still get carded going into a rated R movie.
I'm curious about Max Johnson. I'm curious what he's going to look like in a second start. Can he keep up with Ole Miss? The other part of this is, can Ole Miss continue? Because these two guys that are sitting out this game are their two big play guys. So LSU is going to have to be able to stop the run. We know that because Ole Miss has got a running game. But on the other side, the part that has opened up the running game a lot is that middle of the field passing to Yeboah. And Elijah Moore with the deep play. And I don't know. So Casey apparently likes Ole Miss. I don't know. It can go either way. This is the quintessential coin flip game, right?
It really is. This is a big time rivalry game, and this is these two teams' biggest rivals. Like everyone assumes that Alabama LSU is a big rival and State Ole Miss is a big. I mean, historically, if we're going to talk about the historical ramifications of college football, these two teams were it. And I don't know. I have no opinion on this game. I want my boys to win. I don't know if they can. I'm not going to be upset if they don't. I want them to play well. That's it. If I could do anything, I would say I would want LSU to win and the team to go over, and it'd be a fun game. That's it.
Jack on the track said, "Close your eyes and just bet the over."
Yeah,
that's probably the best way to go about that.
Now the downside is if LSU's defense stands up and Ole Miss can't go over the top because their best big play receiver is gone, then does that just bring this total way, way down? And are we all just grossly overestimating, the amount of points that are going to be scored?
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. Let's see. Vitalis said, Gary, have you fellas kept running win-loss records for the current year? Hope you're doing well. So we
have kept record. We're not doing well.
Yeah, we are not doing well, but it's okay.
Yes, I know.
Responsible gambling. So you take your bankroll at the beginning of the season, and then whatever you got with that, then you're good to go.
Yeah,
all right. All right, the ACC Championship Game. Clemson, Notre Dame, rotation 235, 236. Clemson opened a 7-point favorite. They jumped out to like 10.5. It got bet back down to 10. It is still sitting at 10 as we speak. There's 10.5 that I see on the board right now. The total opened at 60.5. It has come down to 59.5-ish, roundabout. You can still maybe find some 60s. Heath jumps in with a little encouragement. You guys will do better next year. We hope so. I think next year might be a little easier to know what's going on because this is crazy. So Vitalis said Clemson -10. This is everything for them. Jeremy Stark, Clemson's going to win by 20+. Let's see. Keith said DraftKings is running an odds boost for Clemson +100 money line. At first glance, it looks like easy money, but after your last show, it sounds like a trap. Or do we have any thoughts? I mean, it could easily be a trap. Like Clemson is obviously a 10-point favorite for a reason, but they did lose to this team once already. Notre Dame has some confidence about themselves. I do think Notre Dame can win this game. I like Notre Dame plus the 10. It's not going to be one of my official plays on the card right this second, but I do think that they can keep this game close because these teams know each other, and I think Notre Dame's got some players, man. They got some dudes.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame absolutely belongs in this game, and I got them at 10.5. I love the 10.5. I like having the hook, but I think Notre Dame's got a fighting chance to win this game. I just really do. Everyone assumes that Lawrence is going to change a whole lot about this thing. They scored a shit ton of points without him. They put up a ton of yards without him. I actually think the scoring comes down. I think the yardage comes down. I think the total of this game finishes under. I think these teams are going to play it close to the vest. They are not going to risk it, and I think Notre Dame has a fighting chance to win this thing. You're damn right. I'm taking all those points.
Well, in the first game, Clemson was without like 3 of their starting front 7 on defense. That's the biggest part that's going to be back. Those guys and the 2 safeties that they lost in the middle of the game last time. I mean, they were down like 7 rotation defensive guys in that game, and by the end of the first game. So all of those guys will be back for this one. I would imagine not all. I think the majority of them will be back. But I do think that Notre Dame can still play in this game. Like Notre Dame's team total is 24.5. Man, I really wanted to go over that, but like
I'm not touching anything. I like the under. I like Notre Dame, and I'm just telling you, I think Notre Dame's front line, their offensive line, can push around anybody. They've proved it all year long. They belong in the conversation with the big boys, and that has become offensive line right there. Every year they put 1 or 2 offensive linemen in the league. Every year that guy has one of the best offensive, line rookie years anybody's ever had and becomes one of the top 10 offensive linemen in the NFL. And they just keep rotating them in. And in this game, or what was it, a couple games after this game, whatever, they lost 2 of their best offensive linemen due to COVID for a week. And we all panicked and we all worried, is this line going to – it doesn't matter. They just plugged in 2 other guys, and those guys road graded folks.
Yeah.
This team is loaded on the front line, which means they'll be able to run the football, and Ian Book will have time to make plays. And if they can do that, there's nothing Clemson defensively is going to be able to do.
That is a strong statement. Strong statement. All right, moving on to the last game in the afternoon slot for us. Boise State in the Mountain West Conference title game, playing at San Jose State in Las Vegas on New Mexico's home field, 4:15 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. Boise opened an 8-point favorite that is down to 6.5. I see a couple of 7s out there now. Actually, I'm seeing a lot more 7s now. So there's more people jumping on the Boise State bandwagon here. Total of 54.5 has gone up to 56.5. And let's see, it is, I see some 57s, even some 57.5s. Heritage has got it 58 for the total. So I am not touching the total on this one, but I am riding with San Jose State. I think they will be a significantly better team in this spot. I think Boise State has always been the best team. San Jose State is playing for something that they have never done before, at least not in modern times. San Jose State is they are such a fun team. They are such a well-coached team. They are disciplined. They are so fundamentally sound on defense and on offense. It is insane. Casey said, I think the public likes Boise State. I liked it as well, so I think SJSU is live. I think they're absolutely live. This is a fantastic team.
I think this Boise team is pretty flawed. They're going to get let off the hook because of COVID and because of a weird 2020 season. They have not been impressive at all this year. There's not been one game where Boise has really dominated and controlled the game.
So, yes, there's been like the Utah States and whatever, but even they dominated Hawaii. And hold on, they dominated Hawaii, because I don't want to just say that they haven't dominated games, because they have, but they haven't.
You can't throw out the worst team in college football. The worst team in college football is like, well, they dominated them.
But so if you look at the box score against like Hawaii and whatever, they kind of dominated that game. Like, this is what I'm scared of, right? Is Boise State has the players. They have the ability to do this. It's kind of the Air Force Army argument, right? Like, if Boise State plays their best game, then I think that they can absolutely whip San Jose State. However,
the argument is if both teams play their best game, because I disagree with that. I think if San Jose State plays their best game along with Boise's best game, this is still a close game that comes down to the nut crunching. If one team plays their best game and the other doesn't, then that team's always going to have a big advantage. The argument is when they both show up, how does it look? Because I would, if you guarantee me both teams play their best, I would still take San Jose State with the points.
I like it. I mean, that is one of my plays, so I'm all in on that. I am all in on that. Let's move to the evening slate. We got 3 games to hit right quick on that. The first one, the SEC Championship game, and that is Alabama and Florida, 239, 240 rotation numbers. Alabama opened a 14-point favorite, total of 71.5. The total has gone up to 74.5. Alabama is now a 17-point favorite. This is 8 p.m. Eastern time on CBS. I don't know which way to go here. Alabama has been dominating everybody. They have covered the last 6 games, which were all by 22 points or more. They have not stopped scoring, even when they have lost guys. It doesn't matter. Their defense has come along. Their defense is giving up less points now than they had. Now, a lot of that has to do with the opposition, but at the same time, this Florida team is giving up more points to the same opposition, and that's what I'm curious about. Now, what I'm really curious about is Sebastian jumps in, would you take Northwestern plus 21? Well, yeah, but you're not going to find 21 now. Alabama has been just methodically going about things, right? Florida, ever since they beat Georgia, it feels like they have been looking specifically at this SEC championship game. So have they been game planning and scheming and getting ready for that game? A lot of people immediately thought, oh, Florida lost to LSU. Like, they got to be awful, right? unless they just didn't put anything at all into that game. Like, I think that Florida could absolutely come out and look okay in this game. You feel the same way, Chris?
Yeah, I actually do. I think Florida's going to be able to keep this thing close. This line has not moved all week. It's set at 17. We started this podcast almost an hour ago, and I told you, man, it's set at 17 all week. And I just refreshed, and we are at 16 basically across the board, 15.5, and more bets are on Alabama.
Yep.
It's not going down, it's going up. Or it's not going up, it's going down.
A lot of people. Allen jumps in, Bama minus 17. Mark Rock said Alabama is
not one person out there that I've heard publicly say Florida has a chance to win this game. Not one.
Which is terrifying. Comedian Mr. 93.7, Alabama is a different beast. Florida will lose by 21. Jeremy Stark said Florida will lay an egg. Dino, Bama, Florida, 80-plus points in this one. See, I played at the beginning of the week Florida's team total under 28.5. I don't feel great about that anymore.
Yeah, I would not have done that. but I liked Florida's offense all along.
And so Casey jumps in. Florida will cover. I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
I think we do agree on that. I like it.
I think it's going to be a fun game. The AAC Championship game, let's kind of roll through this one right quick. I think we are both on Cincinnati here, although there is some late action coming in on Tulsa. 237, 238 rotation numbers. Since he opened a 12.5-point favorite, it jumped up to 14. It is back down to, I know, it's a 14 across the board again. It was 13.5 a little bit ago.
Yeah, it's bumping.
Total is 45. You can find a 44.5 out there, a couple of spots. So this one's on ABC. Big national broadcast window, but it's opposite Alabama, Florida. I do think Tulsa has gotten so lucky multiple times this year, and I just don't see it happening against a team the caliber of Cincinnati. However, Cincy has not played in a month. Like, it's literally been a month. It was November 21st the last time they played, and that was against Central Florida. They have had guys out with COVID. They've had all this different kind of stuff. This could be one of those Jenga pieces that we've been talking about that, you know, if Cincy's got an offensive lineman out or they got like a linebacker out or something that we just don't know that he is the guy that holds everything together, that's where this could get screwy. I do think Cincinnati is the significantly more talented team. They are the better overall team. However, this is how things have shifted here. When this game was first scheduled back in early October, Cincinnati was a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Tulsa. It is now 14. Like, this is crazy. I still like Cincy. You feel the same?
Yes. This is one of my gambling picks. I think Cincinnati is going to destroy this team. I thought they were going to destroy them when the season started. I thought they were going to roll through the American. They have done everything I expected them to do. They have destroyed everybody. And most of the times they're playing these high-powered offenses. Well, now they're not. Now they're playing a team that struggles to score. Yeah. I think they're going to – guess what? If you struggle to score against Memphis, if you struggle to score against SMU in Houston, then you really going to struggle to score when you play Cincinnati.
That is a very, very valid point. Last game that I wanted to talk about, and I put this on here just for you, Arizona State, Oregon State, 225, 226, rotation numbers, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Arizona State opened a 9-point favorite, total of 61.5. That's down to 7 across the board. Arizona State minus 7. The total from 58.5 has come down to 53.5, 54. I know that you were all in on this. Tell me your thoughts here.
Herm dropped 70 last week on his friend. Okay. On his friend. Now Oregon State is significantly better than Arizona. Let's say that. Oregon State is one-dimensional. Arizona State might be the best defensive coached team in the country. All right. That between Herm, the defensive coordinator, and the defensive specialist that are on the field, that there might not be a better defensive brain set in college football on one side.
Who is that defensive coordinator again?
Well, the defensive coordinator is some young hot shot that Herm has been great. The special assistant is oh my God,
Marvin Lewis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That would be the former defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens that helped win a Super Bowl, then got a coaching job at the Bengals, and even in a toilet like Cincinnati with the Bengals football team, regularly took them to playoff games.
And
So,
won the division.
I don't know. I think he got in as a wild. Maybe he did win a division once or twice, but they got in as a wild card a lot. They never deserved to be there. Never. They did it all with defense all the time. I'm just going to tell you, that team is going against a one-dimensional football team, and you know how much I love that one dimension, right?
Oh yes,
they don't have a chance. They just don't have a chance.
I like it. I like
Good
it.
way to finish the season off. Nightcap, Arizona State, get everything back that you lost.
Getting the Trouts here. I'm in with that. All right. Favorite bets of the morning. Do you have any additionals that you were wanting to throw out?
Hell no. I've been so bad at this. I'm not adding to it. I'm not sticking my hand in the fire again.
Look, we're 15 minutes from game time. I'm going Northwestern over 20 for their team total. I'm going Iowa State's team total over 27, and I'm taking A&M minus 13.5. Those are my bets for today, to go along with what I had the on Tuesday show. So Q&A, was there anything that we need to Heath is telling you, Chris, you need to take UCLA.
Okay. I didn't even know who the hell is UCLA playing today. I didn't even notice that game.
Stanford minus 6. Well, it's UCLA 6.5.
Yeah, I'd probably do that. We have to wait till let's see what the bankroll looks like this evening. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get through.
If I take a bath today, it's gonna be ugly.
Casey said that he loves Oregon State plus 7.
That's fine.
Of course he does.
Casey's gonna lose some money today.
All right. Did you see anything that we haven't discussed?
We hit almost all of them today. So
yeah, I mean it's a lighter slate than usual.
We're about 10 minutes to game time. Let's roll.
Let's get out of here. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. This is the last Saturday that we are doing this because it's the last Saturday of the regular season. We appreciate you guys for jumping in the chat, always coming in here with us. You have been super kind with your comments. We could not
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, couldn't appreciate it more. Monday, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern time, we are doing our bowl live chat video.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about it. We'll see what's going on. So let us know what you think, what you're ready for, all that good stuff. Jump into the chat here and tell us what you think about today. So SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. Go and do the SBR Pick /Pick6 contest for NFL and college football. Knock those out. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're going to have a bowl video and articles over on the website for every single bowl game. Go and knock those out. Share the show. Tell your friends about it, all that good stuff. I guess that is it. Everybody's saying great show. Well, hey, you guys help make it. So great show for you guys as well. Thank you for helping us out. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary. And we will see you again next time.